Hello, welcome to another Friday artwork video. Now, one sort of disclaimer, I'll do this while we actually bring something on camera to look at what I'm saying. I have been through some of the cards in this set before for a Friday artwork video, and it was in the early days, and I was during that period I was doing selected highlights from the set. And it just happened that for whatever reason at the time, it made sense at the time, I started from around Lorwyn period. And then going forward, it made sense to only show certain cards for sets after like Conflux and going forward, because I'd opened a lot more boosters. But I figured as I was going back through these cards where I'd opened the equivalent of say 10 boosters, and I was actually showing all of the single copies of all the cards, I might as well do the same for the Lorwyn block and the Shadowmoor block. So that's the plan with this. So we start off there with an Avon Changeling, and then we actually have our first mythic. So not mythic. No, I'll say that again. Our first legendary, which is a rare. Yeah, I'm curious as to what we've got in here. Okay. We have, so yeah, Kithkin, a Werething. And of course this set, one thing I came to remember it for was the artwork had a particular look to it, particularly the Kithkin characters. I don't think I've made a mess up there and done the same card twice, but anyway. Sometimes when you've got a big stack of these, like in their binder, or a stack in the binder, and it gets a bit confusing. I'm sitting here thinking, why am I getting a sense of deja vu on this, apart from the fact that I did a artwork, flipped through when I originally started doing these Friday artwork videos, and of course this was a thing. A number of these cards featured in what would have been the original Modern Masters, which I've only just looked at in the last few weeks, because I'm thinking Kithkin and Giants. I sort of recognise that. Another rare here. It's Mirror Entity. It's a fun EDH card actually, thinking about it. Yeah, as I said, this definitely has a particular look to a lot of the artwork. And this was the set where we first had Planeswalkers, but I don't remember. And it's funny, it's good here because I deliberately don't flick through the binder. I just pull it out and stack it up. And so I'm curious to see if I did actually get any Planeswalkers in boosters. Actually, this would have been a combination of would it be tournament packs actually? So tournament packs and boosters. So yeah, I'll include links to the videos where I open these. So there's a video, 2 videos where on each one I would have opened one tournament pack and a couple of boosters, I think. Wow, another rare. Yes, we're doing quite well with the rares in white. Yeah, we're also going to notice in a moment, I think, in each of the colours we're going to start to see changelings cropping up. In addition to the ones we've already seen. Yeah, I think there's lots of fun cards in this set that you can sort of play around with. And, by the end of it, no doubt we would have seen a few elementals. With their usual, quite unusual artwork. Okay, this is our first card where I've got both a foil and a non-foil version coming up. I think I pointed out, particularly with as we were going through the previous block, we weren't seeing quite so many foil cards for whatever reason. I'm assuming that was something to do with the time-shifted cards. And there's the regular art. That's a good example where probably, yeah, that might even look better with the regular art. The bit that you would want to pop in this doesn't seem to pop quite so well. Like, it'd probably be cool if more of the sort of bodies of whatever's in here, flies or whatever, fireflies, would pop. And there's certainly been cards like that in Magic's history where that's the case. Where, you know, any fireflies featuring in the artwork tend to pop more than anything else. Oh, another changeling. Really disturbing artwork. And yeah, fairies were a thing in this set. Another rare. Here we have an elemental incarnation. We've got some classics coming up in a moment. I think people will probably recognise. Yeah, those elemental incarnations are very interesting. They're sort of graveyard effects there. Yeah, we're seeing merfolk here as well in blue. But apart from some of the cards in blue I've already pointed out, these next two are probably the ones that I recognise best from this set in blue, certainly. There's this one, Mole Drifter, and then we have this one, which is Pestamite. Yeah, because all of these cards you're going through like this crossover so much with content that I've already done, I will make sure I have the usual selection of the links to other videos that people might find useful. Oh, here we go. Here's another rare. Yep. So yep, fairies in blue. Right, spells, Spirit, Stony Brook Angler next. More changelings. Alright, hopefully I didn't show this card already. I'm getting a bit muddled up again here. Looks like I've got multiple cards in the same card in multiple positions for some reason. I think what happened is this binder got raided a little bit by me to put into some decks. Might possibly be missing a few cards from when I originally opened the packs. Okay, so another rare, this time in black. Oh yeah, of course this had this champion thing going on as well in this set. I do remember drafting this set online when there was quite a number of years ago. They did a whole series of, there was a year, I think they got a year of modern where they did a whole load of modern flashback drafts, and this was one. So it's funny because of that. I think if you draft a lot, this of a particular set. Although I don't know in this case how much I drafted this set, but just generally when you're drafting at common, there's going to be just certain cards that statistically you tend to just see a lot of. Another elemental. I think I seem to remember when I did the previous artwork video for this set, I focused quite heavily on the elementals, I think. Let's name this inversion. That cropped up in this week's deck musings, because there was a copy of that in there, because of course we're at that point in standard, and why I'm doing this, we're at that point where we've just had Lorwyn come into the standard meta, and Ravnica leave. Okay. Another rare. Little Vine Blight. So we're getting up to another recognisable card. You may be able to tell because of course this particular binder has been organised, looks like alphabetically. So, and I have both a foil version and a regular for this, and it is this card. Shriekmore. Nice foil version there, I think. Nice and shiny. It doesn't really make anything pop spectacularly, but it just looks good overall, I think. So foiling on the whole of the card as well. And there's the regular one. So foil, regular, foil, regular. Okay. Shall we do next? Oh, yeah. Spiderwig Bogart. Yeah, some very interesting goblin themed artwork in here. Oh, what was the overlap? Was it black red goblins, I think? That was the colour overlap. Because you had blue black fairies, I believe. another changeling. Moving into red now. I see a planeswalker coming up. So yeah, the other strange thing about this, so yeah, there were a couple of things that were going on. As I've said in previous episodes, planeswalkers came in for Lorwyn, but my understanding is they were intended to be used in the previous set in Future Sight. I think that's right. But also, those that are familiar with Rarity and Magic will also know that at this point in Magic's history, there was no mythic rares. So these planeswalkers were actually just regular rares. Mythic rares didn't come until later. So yeah. So yeah, that's why when you see a planeswalker from Lorwyn, it is just still a regular rare. More shapeshifters, so yeah, elementals and shapeshifters, definitely a big thing in the set. And that's quite useful, you know, in a set where you've got a strong creature type, some tribal theme going on. It gives you a nice degree of flexibility if you've got cards that sort of care about stuff being a certain type. And also you can see in this particular set it did leverage the use of these specific, you know, tribal sorceries as they were called. You can see another evoke card. I think it was the case here that elementals were across all colours. I think that was the 5 colour creature type for this set. You can see we've got a number of goblins in red. As I said, red-black was the goblin colour combination for this set. And certainly in the set Musings episode, which I'll include a link to, I would have gone into the details of that, I'm assuming. Smoke Breeder. That's interesting, yeah. You can see here there's cards out here that reference only using it to play elemental spells. giant spells. Cost 2 less to play. I'm trying to remember if it was red, white giants maybe. Not sure. I'm trying to remember what the Kiskins were in it as well, whether they were just in white or whether they were in another colour. Oh, Tree Folk. Yeah, this set had Champion in it, didn't it? More Evoke stuff. I think this is also a good set if you were into elves. Elvish Promenade. We have Fertile Ground. Yeah, very interesting utility in this set, I think. To play around with different things. So another foil card here in the form of Hunt Down, which I'll just move around in a moment so you can see maybe the foiling. There you go. Yeah, not great foiling in this set, and I suppose that's just just the luck of the draw to some degree in terms of how it turns out with the artwork and how it sort of layers up things and makes things pop. So, and then this is just a regular one here. Again, regular foil, regular. Certainly gives it a much sort of darker tone, I think, with the foil. Oh, more Kiskin. So we're seeing Kiskin and Tree Folk in green, along with elves. I've been very lucky with the foils, just so we can get a compare and contrast. I've got another one here, which I've got both the foil and the regular art. Sylvan Echoes. So it's tricky to try and catch this because, of course, I get a slightly different view from my position than the camera. And I do have the lens, I am looking through a screen as well, so I can sort of see it, but it's always tricky to try and get that. But yeah, quite different. Alright, onto the artefacts. So we have Moonglove Extract, Runed Stalactite, Springleaf Drum, right, now moving on to the non-basic lands. A number of interesting things in this set. So we have the hideaway stuff. That's a rare there. We also have the vivids, which were at uncommon. There was a cycle of 5 of these. Looks like I've got a couple here. And then these dual lands where they check to see if you had to reveal a certain type of card. So this one, the white blue one, was Merfolk. And I think, as I said before, usually I normally used to put these off in a different place, but I've actually got a couple of tokens here. So there's a elemental token, that's pretty cool, I think. And then we've got a Goblin Rogue token I've been using. Now the other thing I found, and this is why I think I must have opened some theme decks, some tournament decks for these, is I found that I'd also in the binder kept these rules inserts, which at that point were coming with with the theme decks. So I keep saying the theme decks, sorry, I meant to say the event decks. So yeah, I had various explanations on here. So a bit about Planeswalkers' abilities, how you fight a Planeswalker, how that works, because obviously people had to be told how that worked in combat and how damage was dealt. Tribal cards, Changeling, Champion, Evoke and Clash. Yeah, it's all sorts of things about the loyalty and that sort of stuff. And then on the other side, really just a promotion for Friday Night Magic. Now the other thing I noticed, I think I've shown you these before, is obviously in the marketing slot, as they called it, you could get, as you've seen, some tokens. There was also these that had been cropping up for a while now. So, you know, these sort of Hall of Fame player type cards with the stats on the back. The other thing, and this was something I also saw, I think, in 10th edition, was these tips. Now, they were a lot more visible and predominant in 10th edition, but yeah, they were still around for Lorwyn. And also, yeah, there's ads on the back there for what was coming up. So there we have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that flip through my binder for Lorwyn. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.